So you following Elizabeth's journey? Personally, when I record things, I do it kind of live. So I was really taken aback when she didn't really hang out at the first park. I kind of wanted her to hang out there for a little bit so I can show you how you can just hook up park assets and pathways together, and it all works. Mind you, you do need a road connection to collect the garbage, and you do need death assets like a crematorium to make it work. Because, well, of all the places people die at, parks are pretty popular. So, I found it really interesting at first that Elizabeth, who had no choice but to drive to the basketball court because there was no, the park was in the middle of nowhere, so there was no transit, no nothing. All you could do is use your car. And she drove to the basketball court, hung up there for, well, Lord knows how long. And now she's going to the museum. Now, the museum is at the Tourist Trap Park. And the Tourist Trap Park came to be when my city was at 46,000 people. I noticed I had 1,800 to 1,900 tourists. And I was afraid to reach the limit of tourists because nobody for years was able to reach tourists or past 2,000. And I was doing 1,800 with just the highway alone. Never mind the railway or the airport. Until a friend told me that, no, there's no such thing as a limit to tourists. So then I put down the Tourist Trap Park, which was a far cry from the Nowhere Park, which had, just access to the highway? And it still operated? Well, once I got the pathways connected, right? So I decided to go build the Tourist Trap. If that's how it'll work without any help, what would happen if I put an airport there, or the out-of-town train station that connects all the off-map connections to a central location so they can come into my city? All right? And when I made that park, airport, train station, I made it as difficult as possible to drive there. Well, not the airport, but the park itself. Hopefully I show you how I did it all loopy kind of thing. And it was just to discourage people from driving. People do drive there still, but yeah, the majority of them will either take the train there. They'll take when they take the train, they're coming into my town. When they take the plane, wow, that's a bump. When they take the plane, they're doing the same thing. But I was trying to hopefully get some of that population to go to the park, and oh my gosh, do they ever. It really, really works well. Basically, when it comes to a park, I wish this car would get out of the way. When it comes to parks, build it and they will come. Alright, so that's the one thing I learned from that. So now I understand why she didn't take the highway, because I made that route rather difficult. So what she's actually going to do is she's going to go drive through my town, down the main street, right? And we're going to go to the bus station. Well, actually, sort of. We're going to pass the bus station on the way. I got to remember what I see here because, right, like I told you before, my hard drive died, and this doesn't exactly exist this way anymore. But to the right, you're going to see my bus station. And there's, I think, 15 different lines that use that, and rather nicely, along with 4 different subway stations. Oof. I'll never get used to that. Out here, right to the left, there used to be another subway station that went directly to the airport. But tourists have a really nasty habit of, if you put any kind of transit near a highway, they'll take transit until they get to the highway, get off the bus or whatever, pull out the car and go. And they did that a lot here. So I tried to do the same thing that I did with the airport, make the route longer, more difficult for them to drive. And it helped a bit. Hopefully one day I'll show you what it looks like now, which was what it looked like before I actually did this. See, I got to go around the corner, around the corner. Well, there's a station right there. So Elizabeth, pocketed her car, and she's going to go to the metro station, and she's going to grab the subway to the airport park, or the tourist trap park. I'm not sure what, yeah, I can call it tourist trap park. Airport and tourist trap park. But you see, that leaves at the train station. Yeah, no, the park is a really cool place. You can drive there. I know I said I don't favor that, but I mean, there's neighborhoods that can drive there, which would take full advantage. And for them, I've got all kinds of parking. These are all the people that are going to that airport park and coming from. So those are new, fresh tourists coming in, and these are tourists that want to leave, along with my citizens. I almost want to cut this part out, but yeah, you get to follow the train. You get to follow the subway line, and it's a direct route from my, I guess, transit hub to the airport. Mind you, it could be a little bit quicker. Is she, well, before I lose her, and unfortunately I do lose her, she gets to visit, or she goes to visit 5 different places. We've seen her do, what, 2? She's on her way to the 3rd, which is that museum right out there. But before she does that, she's got to get to the subway station. See, I even got other unique buildings, which is the go-kart thing. There's the bee and hive, or bee and bird place. There's the parking that you can drive up and enjoy. The airport. A lot of commercial. I put tourism and entertainment in here, right? And even mix them, like there's little clusters of each. You can see the path that most people take. They want to stay in this little quadrant here, because it's the most direct path to the park, actually. Where's Elizabeth? I know I didn't lose her there. Where is she? Okay, there's her little thing. I should know better. I've seen this thing 1,000 times. I'm going to come back and do like renovations to this place, because this was built in 2017, so I had 2 years under my belt. I talk like it takes a lot to learn, but there's a lot of stuff you can take advantage and learn about city skylines. It's not so cut and dry. It's not broken traffic. There's a lot of nuance to this game. And I mean, I want to say vanilla. And when I say vanilla, that's without mods. But I use lots of assets. Like, this subway station. And a lot of houses. A few roads. But I don't use any mods that, would change the game. Or the feel, or the logic, or ruling. Oh, I don't have that bridge anymore either. See how it's wrapped? Yeah, I took skins of, I guess, retaining wall and built that. And now I don't have it anymore. Oh. And this is me going first person. We're going to follow Elizabeth. At least I thought so until that. Yeah. The first person has to walk on top of the top road. And from here, I think, where is she? There. And I jump. I don't jump. I just move and just slam. There we go. There's Elizabeth. Now, out there, that's the museum she wants to go to. She's going to hang there for another 10 minutes or so. So what I think I'm going to do is take a break and cut most of that out. And we'll just let her walk up there. And once she sits down, yeah, I think that's when I'm going to cut. To the right is the fantastic fountain. Some commercial properties, the odd tree here and there. We're going to actually pass through a park, like a park asset. If I, there we go, see? So this kind of thing, yeah, I just want to exploit the bejeebies out of it. Not only that, well, the whole reason I'm putting this on YouTube is because I want a living record. I want a record of this. Because I want to go build, again, the Nowhere Park. And I want to put the commercial out there. And I want to take what I learned here and with the Nowhere Park. Should be interesting to see where I go. I love this museum for this. How the path goes underneath it or through it. To the creator of that museum, I think I've said this before. Touche. This is really cool. I just got to put it on better ground. Yeah, that's why I need to come back here. I need a. Yeah, that never stops with me in City Skylines. So she's gonna do a weird kind of walk because that's one of the things I should fix, which is the pathways to this asset now that I understand how to connect them a lot better. So she's going to hang out here for about 10 minutes. Right? And then from here, she's going to go to a souvenir shop. And there, she's going to hang out just for a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to lose her. So I'll try my hand at editing here. It's something I don't do enough of. Possibly. I like following the camera. I mean, there's a lot of things for me to learn from when I go through these things over and over and over again. I do them mainly for my benefit, right? To get ideas, to figure things out. Here it was a mix of the two specialized industries or commercials. One being tourism, the other being entertainment. And for those who can notice, you'll be able to tell where I snuck in little pockets of one in the middle of others. Right, like see those two hotels? They're districts unto themselves. Two hotels surrounded by entertainment. Little things like that. My hand at detailing. I hope that lasted. Like I hope we still have that trellis. Or what would you call that? So it's not, we don't have to wait quite a couple of minutes. As a matter of fact, she goes in there, sees what she wants, and there she is. Now she's going to the SimCity 4 library. And we saw that earlier, just a little ways from the basketball court. There was a basketball court, baseball diamond, a school, and a library across the street. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's the one she's going to. You can imagine the SimCity 4 library is used as a library. So it's been repeated a few times in my city. It's small, compact, and has the same education power. That's such a cool bridge. I gotta remember what I did to do that. I love those lines. I really do. Hopefully it's not one of a kind. Hopefully I can do something like that again, if not better. But from my position here, not sure how I would do it better. Maybe put a garden on this side. Maybe a little bit around the pillar there. Add some greenery. I'll probably do that over the long haul. Well, once I get this bridge up and running. Right now it just has pillars. Just like common bridge in City Skylines. It's got highway pillars because that's, I think, a highway piece. Not to say there's... I guess there is a difference. Look at all those people coming off that train. My goodness. And she's going to come around the corner. She's going to go down the stairs, and then for some reason... Oh yeah, I guess I click views and don't realize that I'm not quite clicked on her. Well, the Hearsts are doing their job. Well, I'll tell you what. From here, what I want to do is I want to show you what I did to the Nowhere Park. Because I kind of thought, you know, same thing here. If that operates so well without any help, what would happen if I put some transport? Or sorry, transit. Anyways, that was the journey of Elizabeth, one of my tourists, on her 5th destination. I wonder how many destinations they will go. Look at the population of that place. And if they're not going to my city, they're going to that little park. And she started her journey down there. Ciao for now. Have fun.